L'Shana Tova. Like they said, Baruchim Habaim, welcome to this sacred space. Welcome to this sacred time. I'd like to invite you to begin with a few mindful breaths. Just to let the day that was at the doors, that you can find yourself more fully present here and now. And as you take the first full mindful breath, mindfully turn off your cell phone so that we can really relax into this time together and not have to worry about whether we'll miss whatever call we might miss. We'll pick it up later. It'll still be there. This is the year 5777. Tonight we are entering into the year 5777 of the Jewish calendar. I get excited. Every year when Rosh Hashanah is arriving, because I get to look at the date, the year that we are about to enter, and look at Gematria. I don't know how many of you know what Gematria is. We're starting this new year completely immersed in Kabbalah, because why start anywhere else? Gematria is a tool that the masters of Kabbalah use to enter more deeply into the mystical meaning of texts and study, prayers, anything and everything. What they do is that they give each letter of the Hebrew alphabet a numerical equivalent. So the first letter of the alphabet, for example, the Alef, gets to be 1. The second letter, the Bet, gets to be 2, and so on and so forth. And there are 22 letters in the Hebrew alphabet. I'm not giving you the details of how that works, but trust me. What it means is that for the Kabbalists, every word they encounter, whether it be in Torah, in the book of prophets, or in the prayer books, every single word is not only a word in and of itself, but it is also a mathematical formula. It is also a number. And every number they encounter becomes a word. And so they seek patterns of recognition. What word is equal another word because they have the same numerical form? And what numbers give us what teaching because they appear in this word or that word? So I get excited because I look at 5777. First of all, there's a lot of sevens there. That's exciting. But what you do is that you add up all of those digits. 5 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 gives us 26. I know. Just think about it. Amazing. I'll actually come back to 26 in a moment. But I first want to go a little bit deeper. There's the second layer of Kabbalah you can get to if you add up the two numbers that you got in the first time you put the other ones together. So 2 plus 6 gives us wonderful. You guys are already on your way to becoming master of Kabbalah. Now the 8 is a fascinating number. If you flip it on its side, it gives you the symbol of infinity. And you might think, well, that's not Kabbalah. Well, think again, because number 8 in the Kabbalistic tradition is the number that represents absolute, transcendent, infinite being. 8 is absolute perfection, transcendent of creation. Why? Because creation happens in 7. Number 8 is the one beyond. So number 8 represents the absolute, transcendent, infinite one. And infinite in the sense of not finite, meaning that it doesn't enter the realm of finiteness. It stays beyond that. There are several rituals in Jewish tradition that are connected to number 8. The most popular and often challenged one is circumcision. Circumcision happens on the 8th day of a baby's boy birth, because it is a mark in the flesh that is there to remind us that we are the manifestation of that which is transcendent and infinite. That we are not to identify with this body of flesh and blood, and remember that in fact we are that oneness, that formless, that nothingness that is manifesting through and as this body, mind. And since we're talking about Kabbalah, the Kabbalistic tree of life, which you might have heard of, is, to define it simply, the pathway through which we follow to reach higher and higher levels of awakening, of enlightenment. In the ascending of the tree of life, number 8 is the 8th stage on this ascending journey. There are 10 plus. There are 10, and then there is beyond as well. But number 8 is the 8th stage on the ascending of the Kabbalistic tree of life, what is connected to the Sephirah, to the level, to the rung called Binah. And Binah means understanding. But not in the intellectual sense of understanding, because we are floating in realms that are beyond the body-mind. It is a knowing, it is an understanding, an awakening to the truth of who we are at that level. It is the first stage, as far as Kabbalah is concerned, the first stage of spiritual awakening and enlightenment. That's number 8. Now, there is the ascending path that reaches the Sphira, the sphere of Binah, but there's also the descending path. The descending path tells us that this 8th station is the gateway, the doorway through which the energies of the infinite transcendent pass through in order to give us this reality, in order to infuse the 7 lower stations up and all the way down to this level of conscious living. And the Kabbalists tell us that the impulse, the divine impulse to manifest and create, is a pure, unconditional, unbound act of love. Now, it's not surprising that the number 8 also gives us a couple words in Hebrew. One is ahav, Alef, He, and Bet, that gives us the word love, and the noun ahava, which also means love, and the word dod, dalet and dalet, which is beloved. And we see that on Friday night when we sing Lecha Dodi, towards you we run, our beloved Shabbat consciousness. Or we see that in the ketubas, the Jewish wedding contracts, Ani le dodi ve'dodi li, I am my beloved and my beloved is I. That's 8. Now you know why I get so excited. Now 26. Let's come back to 26. 26 is incredible. I mean, there's no word to say how amazing 26 is. 26 is the name of God. 26 is Yud, He, Vav, He. 26 is the 4 letters of the Tetragrammaton, the unpronounceable, ineffable name of the Transcendent One, which we say instead of not being able to pronounce is Adonai. This is the year whose name is Adonai. This is the year whose name is Yod-He Vav-He, YHVH. The name of the transcendent, formless, divine presence. I get chills. I don't know about you. Now, there is one letter in Hebrew that is also 26. And you might say, how come, since there's only 22 letters? Well, there's one letter in the Hebrew alphabet that is actually made, drawn, calligraphed as 3 letters. And that one letter, made out of 3 others, is on the cover page of your prayer book. And it's the Aleph. The Aleph is made of 3 letters. The Yud on the top, then there is a slice, a bar, a Vav, and then there's a Yud at the bottom. And they all coalesce around that space. It's the image of as above, so below. As above, so below. That's the Aleph. Now, Aleph is made of the Yud, the Vav, and the Yud. Yud is 10, Vav is 6. Yud is 10, that's 26. So in Kabbalah, in Gematria, we get to those kind of paradoxes where 26 equals 1. But therefore, it also means that Aleph, follow me, equals Yod-He Vav-He. And since Aleph is 1, Aleph is Echad, it also flows from that Adonai Echad. God is one. God is one is the central affirmation of the Jewish tradition, connected to the Shema Israel. And if that wasn't enough, here's where Kabbalah becomes mind-blowing. Guess what is the name of God associated with the 8th Sephirah of the Kabbalistic tree of life? Yod-He Vav-He, Adonai. I don't know what this year is about to be, but it has a seal of being a year of transcendent spiritual awakening. Everything comes together to tell us, to send us the message that this is a year of a shift in global universal consciousness. Something is about to awaken. And we might not visually see it, but the Kabbalah is telling us this is this year. This is happening now. This is happening over the next few months. So I'll invite you, perhaps if you have maybe abandoned or never started a spiritual practice, that may be the year you might want to start something, whatever that is for you. But this is not a mistake. This is the year 5777. On page 10 of your prayer book, in the middle of the page, we read together as a kavanah, as an intention for these holidays. We said the word that start with a little asterisk there. We meet. Have you found it? Join me. We meet these days in worship that we might release painful patterns through embrace and not through struggle. We open our hearts to ourselves, to each other, and to the universal presence in which we are sustained. On the brink of this year, we awaken to renewed choice. We seek the thoughts, images, feelings, and actions that will more clearly reflect the loving and peaceful heart, always at the center of our being. Teshuvah is the return we seek now. It is the inward turning toward the source of our strength and our wisdom. In tefillah, in prayer, we turn within, allowing our images, feelings, and thoughts to support the selves we wish to be. And we rehearse actions in the world consistent with our higher images, our truer yearning, fuller expression of our being. The book of life is once again open. We are called upon to inscribe our destiny. In a moment, we'll sing together the song that reflects this story of the book of life. And for those of you who might have forgotten since last year, the story goes like this. Right now, in this moment, God is sitting at his desk, at her desk, with 3 books open in front of him and her. Them. On the left, I imagine, I'm making that up. On the left is the book of death. In this book, right now, before we haven't started the first song together, are inscribed and sealed the names of those who have been so evil that they are beyond saving. That no matter how hard they pray, no matter how repentful they are, there is no way for them to come back from the evil in which they find themselves now. On the right is the book of life. And in that book are already inscribed and sealed the names of those who have been angels this past year. Those you have probably met every day who barely touch the floor as they walk by. Those who walk around with a halo behind their head and are just oozing love and compassion and care. Never for a second falling into anger or resentment or any of those. These, and you know those names, are already in the book on the right side of God. Now, in the middle is the 3rd book. And in that book are all the names of those who are neither on the book in the left or in the book in the right. And through these days, the story goes, through these days of all the 10 days that are between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, if we do the work, the personal work of healing, of forgiveness, if we work towards setting our life straight, to enter into the next year with intentionality, to be a force for good, for ourselves and for others, then if we are able to do all of this over the next 10 days, then our names will be moved from the book in the middle to the book of life. Now, this is a nice story, but I think what it means is that we have a choice. We have a choice to write ourselves in the book we want to write ourselves. We have a choice to find the story in that book that we want to be exemplifying through our lives. And so we are the ones to write our name in the book we choose. We can choose to be dead to our lives next year, to just walk as zombies through the days, morning, noon, and night, just as we were before, without any incline to better ourselves or our conditions or that of others. We can choose that life and to write our name in that book. Or we can choose to be alive next year. We can choose to be fully alive next year, to embody in our everyday the energies of what we wish to see happen in the world the most. That is the choice that is in front of us. That is the choice that is in front of us today, on this night, maybe because we are more conscious of it, because we are brought to be conscious of it. But this is the choice we have every day of our life.